This is Omar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Just a few days after I saw Gareth Davies at the Fury Whyte launch press conference, people still talking about Dillian's absence and how it was going to affect the sale of the fight. Well, we know in terms of ticket sales, it didn't really do anything to it. It may have even enhanced it. Obviously, 85,000 tickets going in 3 hours and another 5,000 been put on sale in terms of coach packages. So just get your reaction to that ticket news, please, firstly, Gareth.
Well, clearly Tyson Fury's crossed over to the mainstream. People want to have that I was there moment for his homecoming fight. I don't know if it's a blow to Dillian Whyte that the sales have gone. Obviously, some people want to see Dillian Whyte fight as well, but you know, it's a clear sign that Tyson Fury is a crossover star. I think we knew that anyway. As you just said, we were both there on Tuesday, was it, at Wembley Stadium, and I think Fury did 5 hours of media appearances and did the car wash to America on ESPN down the pipe, down the camera, and you know, was in high spirits. And obviously, I think one of the things that might have sold it is he said, "I'm going to retire after this fight." You know, so maybe people think this is the last opportunity to see Tyson Fury in a boxing ring before he goes off to fight Francis Ngannou in 4-ounce gloves in a ring or in a cage, maybe. But yeah, it's a big event. We always knew it was, and I'm sure the promoters, Bob Arum and Frank Warren, are delighted that it sold out so quickly, because there were a lot of disgruntled people that couldn't get tickets as well. So those 5,000 new seats are going to be like gold dust.
Well, yeah, and Frank's applied for an extension to 100,000. We'll see if Wembley approved that. But I mean, yeah, I've never heard that before at Wembley. 100,000, that would be incredible.
Yeah, it is. It's a massive event, and you know, as I say, it's vindication that they probably did do the right thing by that huge purse bid of 31 million to win the fight, to win the right to stage it rather. And it's going to be a big event, and you know, it's on BT Sport box office, isn't it? You know, I saw Sky were there as well. Adam Smith was there. You know, it's going to be a great occasion on April the 23rd, St George's Day, when these two huge British heavyweights meet in a ring. It was, you know, I think I said to you at the time, you know, people didn't necessarily agree with it. But I think Dillian may regret it eventually that he wasn't at the press conference, but maybe there are other suggestions that it's worked in his favor, that he didn't get a chance to allow Tyson Fury into his head, and you know, he's just doing all his business over there in Portugal, and he's just going to turn up for fight week. But yeah, it's a fascinating scenario. I've never known anything like it, where there's only one guy selling a fight at the first press conference, and it sells out so quickly. Quite incredible.
Well, interesting you mentioned Sky. They will be involved in this pay-per-view. This is a BT Sport box office exclusive pay-per-view, but for previous BT Sport box office pay-per-views, i.e. when Fury boxed Wilder and Volin, which were pay-per-views in the UK, it wasn't sitting on the Sky platform. So a Sky customer couldn't press their red button and just buy the box office on BT. They'd have to sign up on the BT Sport website. However, for this fight, Sky customers can just buy it through that Sky platform straight onto the BT Sport box office. So that is probably going to increase sales, isn't it, Gareth?
Yeah, that red button enhancement is definitely a plus, because no one wants to have to sign up. They just want to press a button, pay their fee, put in or whatever they do, and Bob's your uncle. Or maybe Frank's your uncle, no, rather than Bob. But yeah, it is an enhancement. I expect it'll be a really big pay-per-view. I bet it'll be BT Sport's biggest ever. Wouldn't surprise me if it does over 1 million pay-per-view buys. And as you say, the stadium already 85,000, maybe 90, maybe 100. It's going to be an amazing occasion. We just need Dillian Whyte there on the week, don't we? You know.
That leads me on to my next question. Of course, we saw the ticket demand wasn't affected. However, the pay-per-view is going out to the wider public. So without another fighter being involved in the promotion, i.e. Dillian Whyte, and there being back and forth constantly throughout this promotion, and there's going to be no promos of Dillian Whyte, etc., until I'm guessing at fight week. Can it really maximise sales on the pay-per-view side?
Well, it would be better if Dillian Whyte was involved and, we were all going over to visit him in camp in Portugal. I hope we do get the opportunity to go over there and visit him in camp as a group. I fully intend to go over there. I'd love to visit Dillian Whyte in camp. I've been over there once with him in recent months for DAZN for an off-the-cuff interview. He was in phenomenal form. He was still due to face Otto Wallin at that point, but obviously he got his shoulder injury after that. And then, we've had these several months of negotiations. An incredible saga, really, when you think about it, that, the purse bid, they couldn't sign the fights, and it went up to the 11th hour on the purse bid, 6 hours before the purse bid was due to close, the contract signed with the WBC, the standard contract, and now still protracted negotiations over the fact that, as they revealed Frank revealed at a lunch we both went to, that they were trying to still sort out some of the ins and outs, the bits and pieces about Dillian's appearances at media attendance in the build up to the fight, that they wanted more money for that. We hear that a private jet had been offered for him to get him over and to go home. Frank Warren quite fulsome in the fact that they had wanted to do that and get Dillian Whyte over, but no Dillian Whyte, obviously a no-show on the day. Warren branding it as disgraceful and non-professional. Most people in the media not really being understand. All the people I spoke to have never known anything like it. I can't remember it in 30 years of covering boxing where a boxer didn't want to attend, Umar, and I don't know the ins and outs of whether other boxers in the past have wanted an extra fee for doing all those kind of things. I'm sure they have. But there's certainly loggerheads between the two teams, and fingers crossed that we do get Dillian Whyte there on fight week. I'm sure we will. He signed the contract. Otherwise, it will be a huge legal situation if he doesn't. But it's all coming through his lawyer Jeffrey Benz at the moment, the American who's now residing in London, I believe.
Yeah. What did you make of the article that the Sun put out, where Jeffrey Benz made quite a lot of claims, that we're unhappy with a lot of things, and that's why Dillian Whyte won't be attending the press conference and be participating in the promotion of this fight? What did you make of that?
Well, he's stonewalling. I skimmed over that article, as you rightly say, in the Sun, where he was saying that they haven't met the demands that they wanted as part of the promotion. The contract signed, obviously. There were complaints, I think, about the 4 million not being there in escrow yet, but I think Warren's explained to you, I think he explained to you yesterday, or in one of your interviews with him, I think it was yesterday, that the money doesn't actually have to be in there. Obviously, it's legally binding, but it doesn't have to be in there for several weeks, does it? It just has to be there in advance of the fight taking place. So everyone's just stretching the limitations of the legalese, really, I would say, and sticking to their guns. And it's been, as I say, it's been an attritional negotiation, and Jeffrey Benz is putting his side out, where he's saying, we wanted this, we wanted that, but they didn't meet it. Bottom line is the contract signed, and maybe we won't even get him promoting it in fight week. Who knows? It could be an extraordinary week, not having Dillian Whyte at workouts, a press conference. He's got to turn up for the weigh-in. Maybe we only see him for the weigh-in on the Friday, the fight's on the Saturday. He may not even see the media in advance. That's up to us to try and get an in with Dillian. I've got to ask you, have you been invited over to see him yet or not? No, I haven't yet, but I do hope we're going to get an invite. Would love to get out of the rain and go and see Dillian in Portugal.
My last question is really, who's this harming more? Is this harming Dillian Whyte more, where he's losing out on the exposure, especially from ESPN in America for this fight? Or is this harming Frank Warren and Bob Arum and BT and ESPN more?
Well, I don't know if it's harmed anyone, because we are seeing, it harms the fact that the boxing scene's in a bit of a mess, as it often does, like it's the Wild West. But it didn't harm the sales yesterday or on Wednesday. It didn't harm Tyson Fury's mood. I mean, you know, he was, as you know, he was in very high spirits. It doesn't harm Bob Arum or Frank Warren because obviously they've built this promotion. They've sold out Wembley Stadium already, and they're looking at 15,000 more, as you say. And you know, the only thing we didn't get was that, you know, that animosity, that energy between Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte that we could take away and be excited about. It may work in Dillian Whyte's favor. Don't write him off in this fight. He's waited a long time for this fight. He's going to be bringing everything he's got. He's a survivor in life, as I've said to you before. You know, and he's waited 1,200 days for this opportunity. He's lost to Povetkin. He's won back. He's back in position. You know, maybe the fans lost out not seeing the two guys together, but as long as we get them together on fight week, even if it's Dillian at the weigh-in and then the fight, it's going to add to all the drama. But I suspect we'll see Dillian at the press conference in fight week because he's going to be over here. I can't believe he isn't going to fly over here with a week to go. What's he going to do? Hide away? I doubt it. I think we'll get interviews with him. It's just the usual drama and narrative and theatre that we get on these big occasions. And mark my words, this is a massive fight, especially given what's happening in Ukraine with Alexander Usyk in military fatigues now and fighting for his country. Because that Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk fight might be a long way off now. It may not happen this year. It may not happen at all.
Who does he box next then, Joshua?
Maybe the winner of Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury. I'd love to
he's
see
got to have an interim bout though. You can't just go.
Yeah. Who does he fight in the interim? Trevor Bryan.
He's tied up with Daniel Dubois.
I know, or he's tied up with a lot of different people in the background, actually. But even little birdie tells me that he's even looking to fight Derek Chisora, by the way.
Joshua.
No, Trevor
Bryan. Bryan wants to fight the whole world, doesn't he? But
yeah, he does. But you know, Anthony Joshua, Joe Joyce. You know, there's a number of fighters that he could meet. But it will be interesting to see what Eddie Hearn comes up with for Joshua now and see who they do match him against. I mean, we haven't even heard who his training team is yet. So, you know, maybe this is all good for Anthony Joshua in a way, notwithstanding the terrible events that are going on in the country of Ukraine with the Vladimir Putin invasion at the moment.
All right, Gareth Davies, thank you very much for your time. I know you've got to shoot off, so I'm sure we'll speak sometime next week. All right, thank you.
Have a great time, Umar. Don't forget to draw your curtains before you go out, yeah?
Always mention that.